Rock was, again, imperious in the first set of that one.
41.
Took the opening set 3-0 with an average of 110, and those numbers have been the foundations of Rock's astonishing rise to where he is right now.
You could even say, Rob, the bedrock of what he's done. But it has been a bit of a landmark weekend for many reasons. It's been great to be back in Graz. I look forward to coming back. But Jonny Clayton, over the last, did you say 5 years and 1 day?
Exactly 5 years and 1 day, yeah.
Interesting, because do you remember the curse of Ross Smith?
Of course.
When he got the 9-darter,
140.
it took 5 years and 1 day to break that curse, and Jonny Clayton is trying to break the curse of the green jacket.
Yeah, I knew you'd pick up on that. That's why I brought it into the introduction. I mean, there was so much you could say about these two players and the respective roles they've had to this final here in Graz. Josh Rock's performance in that semi-final will be talked about for many a day to come. Jonny Clayton hitting back with a 180. This first leg is really setting the standard. 44 for Josh Rock, double 16. And it's Rock who strikes first with the hold of throw.
First and foremost, I was surprised that he went for double 16, because against MVG in the semi-final, he was so good on double top. Why wouldn't you leave it from that position? But he knows best. And if he's clicking 16s and tops, Jonny Clayton's got a huge problem with this young man, who is making his first appearance in a European Tour final. But finals are not foreign to him. When it comes to titles, he's won 5 Development Tour titles, a World Youth Championship and a Players' Championship in just over a year.
Yeah, and he was a finalist earlier this year on the Players' Championship circuit. He lost to Michael van Gerwen that day. And when you look at these two players and what they've been doing on the floor events this year, we have Jonny Clayton top of the tree in the Players' Championship averages, whereas Rock is not too far behind, standing in 6th with an average this year of 97.95. He was a recent quarter-finalist as well. He beat Clayton in Wigan. As Clayton looks to level things up, can't find the treble 17 that would have left the bullseye, or would have left 50. Don't think he would have gone for the bullseye on this occasion, despite his prowess on the red button so far this weekend in the main.
I don't know, Jonny sometimes just fancies it.
90.
Josh shows him where the bullseye was. Jonny doesn't need that, he needs double 12 and gets it. Now there are 2 Welshmen who have a green jacket in their closet in world sport. Jonny Clayton is one of them, and the other one, Rob Malloy's got his hand up.
Ian Woosnam.
Ian Woosnam, 1991, when he beat Tom Watson to the green jacket at Augusta National. A famous putt on the 18th green where he sank to his knees and gave a big hug to his caddy, who I believe was called Wobbly.
43.
Well, nothing wobbly about either of these two this weekend, especially Josh Rock in that semi-final against Michael van Gerwen. He was rock solid pretty much from the word go. I've got to say as well, I don't want to be a curse here, Josh, but this is the first match this weekend featuring Josh Rock that I've commentated on. I've avoided him all weekend until now. There's no getting away from it.
I don't think Josh is aware of that, and I don't think he believes in superstition anyway.
No.
But this final has started with a real bang.
He's far too talented to believe in superstition. The 138, not going to happen. Yeah, Kirk Bevan's just pointing out that he was 62 away. That single 6 leaves 56. 1-2-1 here for Jonny. Over to the 11s. Gets the treble for double 14.
I've got 2 words for Josh Rock and Josh Rock fans. Uh-oh. Because when he starts doing that, everyone's got problems. 1-2-1s. I'd love to know, and if anybody can work this out for me, please do. How many 1-2-1 finishes has he hit since the start of last year? It must be ridiculous.
First break of throw in this final, first to 8, remember. Best of 15 legs. You just wonder with Jonny as well, that semi-final that he had against Daryl Gurney, where he came from 6-3 down to win 7-6, that was very much out of kilter with what he's been doing so far this weekend.
Yeah.
Great performance against Heta, terrific performance against Joe Cullen as well, in terms of the finishing. But with Gurney, he really had to dig deep and he had to win 4 on the spin. Having got that out of his system, you just wonder now whether Jonny Clayton's regrouped and he's had a bit more prep time backstage as well, a bit more time to breathe and set himself again.
Definitely started this contest better than the semi-final, that's for sure. And most players who go on to win tournaments like this, there's one game that they remember where they were vulnerable, and Jonny was in the semis.
98 away, can't find the treble 20 that would have left a crack at double 19. Josh Rock is looking at 1-4-1, needs to imagine he's on a 9 darts here, something he has achieved, of course.
Double 12 again for Jonny. This is to stretch the lead to 3-1 for 3 straight legs, and he's being really efficient on the outer ring. 75% so far, and this game is quick, just the way we like it, really. But when it comes to Clayton, his proclivity of winning non-ranked tournaments in 2021 was so well documented. But when you look through his CV, and I'm not just talking about in this tournament, because he's already got 3 180s in this game, for instance, 9 each in the tournament for these two, but he's won at every level in the PDC at the top level. So he's won a ranked Premier event, he's won unranked Premier events, he's won a Euro Tour, he's won World Series and the World Series finals, and on the floor. Pretty much the only thing missing is a World Championship. He's won at double start and straight start. He doesn't have any weaknesses.
Yeah, leg play, set play, you name it.
421.
Yeah, that versatility has certainly served him well.
Pairs, singles, double start, set play, double start, set play. Every single discipline that we have in darts, he's mastered it.
Will he master this 60 for a 4-1 lead and a second break of throw? Yes, he will. Concern here for Josh Rock, because Jonny Clayton has opened up a sizable gap here. 3 legs, but crucially 2 breaks of throw as well.
Just one more thing on that point as well about versatility. There are certain poker players around the world who are noted for playing Hold'em or Omaha or Stud. When it comes to Jonny Clayton, he's a horse player, and that means he's good at everything. Stud, Omaha, Hold'em, Raz the lot.
Well, they might be answering Josh Rock's prayers. That's a group of nuns in the crowd here, because he needs something. And he started off with a ton 80.
This is some performance from Clayton, averaging 110. His front 9 is nearly 115. And Rock, he's not even that far behind, but there's nothing he can do.
No, very little. They have met on the European Tour stage before, by the way, very recently in Gibraltar at the end of last year. Rock winning that one 6-5, 2 wins apiece in their previous 4 encounters. 2 on the Pro Tour, 1 at the World Champions that I've mentioned earlier. That could really have gone either way. Rock was let down by his finishing in the closing stages of that one as well.
You know when they say, if you get a dog, the best thing to do is to get another dog, to keep them company. Could be the same for the jackets for Clayton.
Double 6.
Yep, double 6 it is.
For a first break back.
Jonny Uruguay 101.
And he can't find that break, and this could be an extension of Jonny Clayton's cushion to 5-1.
Double 16.
69.
Surprised he missed. Reprieve for Rock. This is massive.
Yeah, and he really was keen to get that one dealt with at the first time of asking. Didn't want to be messing around on double 3, for example, there. But yeah, that's a good response by Rock. It's a 13 darter. It's a much needed break of throw.
That's the perfect graphic, Rob, because let's face it, massive pressure, and he needed to have a miss from Clayton just to get a 13-darter. That's how good this game has been.
81.
These guys are going to be exhausted by the end of tonight. This is a frenetic final, and their energy levels have been sapped by the heat, the pressure, and the expectation of every single person who's walked through the gantry and through the gates this week.
Well, I think whatever happens here, whatever the outcome of this final, this has been a very significant week for Josh Rock, not just in terms of reaching his first ever Euro Tour final, but earlier, not too long ago, I think it was when the latest money list was released, he was inside the top 32 in the Order of Merit as well. That is a significant milestone for him.
If he wins the tournament, Josh Rock, he would go to number 29 in the world. That would be a personal best, and he would jump a certain Raymond van Barneveld and two-time European Tour winner Kim Huybrechts.
Wow.
429.
As for Clayton, though, if he wins the tournament, he would be within £3,500 of number 6 in the world.
Just 73.
73 for Rock to trim the deficit once again. And that leaves tops.
53.
Well, no damage done just yet because Clayton is on 216. This appearance in the final, by the way, effectively guarantees Rock's appearance in the European Championship. He was on he was on £10,000 on the European Order of Merit before this weekend. Anyway, double 10, double 5 now for 4-3. Yeah, neatly tucked it into the postage stamp right there, didn't he, in the top right-hand corner.
Just one less thing to think about when it comes to the European Championship. You can just play the European Tour for the rest of the year and just go after tournament wins instead of thinking about, am I actually going to that one at the end of the year? Clayton knows all about that because in 2021 he didn't even make the European Championship.
Yeah. Despite everything else that he did achieve. Well,
96.
2 breaks to 1, just to remind you, in terms of the state of play. Signs here that Rock is just beginning to
83.
establish himself as a threat in this final.
Yeah, this is one of those moments where the wide receiver gets the ball on the left side of the field and the cornerback is very close. You just want to palm him off with the old stiff arm and say, no, this is my part of the field, I'm running.
Jonny Clayton has left himself 170, and maybe, just maybe, this is the catalyst that he could do with right now.
Cameron Menzies got one on Friday.
Yeah, that seems like an eternity ago.
It really does. A lot has happened to Cammy since then. He's lost his wallet, he's found his wallet, and I think he's home now.
I'm relieved about that. I was a bit concerned.
100. Jonny, you're going 110.
Well, this is there for the taking for both, really. Clayton striking first on 110, 50 away now. Single 18 to the double 16 once more.
70.
Yeah, and he's been off target. That was a significant gap as well. He missed double 16 with the previous visit. 83 here, no 51.
Oh, Josh, what have you done?
42 remaining.
42 left.
That was a little greedy. And now Clayton can lick his lips.
Yeah, that was just a little bit loose, wasn't it? And Clayton with 3 clear darts, and he only needs 1. Now, will that be the latest turning point in this final, Paul? It could well be.
That was a monstrous T-junction, that, Rob.
We identified, didn't we, that moment when Gurney missed 3 darts at double 18 for a 5-1 lead. We said at the time, this is where Clayton can make his move. And I just wonder now whether something similar has happened.
I mentioned that you want to just palm your opponent off.
140.
As soon as that treble 8 was hit, leaving Josh on 42, Clayton was thinking, right, you've had your chance. You needed to hit 16 bull to get level. He didn't get the opportunity, and Clayton just doesn't pass up those kind of opportunities under pressure because he's a brilliant pressure player.
41.
But he's maybe not playing at the same sort of level as he was at the start of the final. The adrenaline may have just dissipated a little bit.
140.
Overall, still a great performance, averaging over the ton, and the doubles are decent, over 55%. But it's 3 more legs for 1 more jacket.
Rock's turns to have a look at 1-2-1.
81.
I remember when Michael van Gerwen didn't win a European Tour event for a long time after winning the green jacket for the first time. His curse was broken. I wonder if Jonny's going to break his tonight.
Tops for Rock. 5-4. Back in touch, but still needs to find that break to get himself level once again.
Austria's been really good to Jonny Clayton, hasn't it, as well? He's won a European Tour here. He's won the World Cup here.
Yeah, that was in Salzburg, wasn't it?
It was.
In 2020, yeah.
Certain countries are good to certain players. Van Gerwen loves it here, even though he lost today. I'm a big fan of Austria too. I've got some great memories of this country. And I think Josh Rock likes it a little bit more after today.
Yeah, he'll be looking forward to returning here. He'll maybe associate this with a big, significant staging post of his career. I think irrespective of the outcome. First European Tour final. Jonny looks to be in control of this leg.
Has to be. And even if he does get a big treble, he'll have the luxury of going for it if he wants. Single 11. But the bullseye goes for it for one reason. A, he loves going for the shot. Secondly, he's the best 25 killer in world darts.
25.
A chance maybe to return to this southwest portion of the board as well. Double 4 instead, though.
21.
Well, Jonny, anxious times. Rock is not on a finish yet, but if he can get down to maybe a one dart shot from here, it'll put some pressure on.
Well, I know Jonny pretty well. I put the hex on him there with a 25, but double 2 is his least favourite double, and he's won the leg on it. That was very much against the type, that one. 6-4, and Rock needs 4 from here. Clayton only needs 2.
Both players.
That's the ideal start.
Flirting with some plus averages here. Rock is currently above the dotted line. Jonny Clayton not too far away. Just another measure of the high standard of this final. Clayton is 2 legs away from another European Tour success here in Austria.
57.
You're driving me mad, actually. The camera keeps panning out to one of the fans in the crowd. And I thought earlier, who does she remind me of? She looks like a young Brooke Shields.
85.
Wasn't she a partner of Andre Agassi at one point?
She was, yeah.
Oh, that's not good for Josh.
Yeah,
What a great recovery.
Great recovery, but it might still just give Jonny Clayton further encouragement. Can he pounce all over it?
440.
Well, he can. He is down to a finish first on the Rock throw as well, so this is another warning sign for Josh Rock.
136.
Just wants to leave it handy now.
60.
Not quite as handy as he wanted. Very much in the balance this leg. What's Josh got in the locker? He's got the ball though. And the double 16 to boot. That was monstrous. He misses that, and Clayton could well be throwing for the match right here.
Well, how big a visit could that be, and how significant a checkout could that 102 be for Josh Rock? Second Ton Plus checkout of the match, Rock's first, but I don't think there'll be many more significant than that, because, as you say, the tide could have turned easily again there.
It wasn't the percentage play either.
But
most analysts would say go for the 42 because it's bigger than the bullseye, but
sometimes that raw energy, that youthful rawness about him just takes him to other places, and there we saw a classic example. Just go with the instincts, and yeah, once he hit that bullseye, I really fancied that the rest would follow.
When it comes to Josh, we know that he's very much learning quickly in his career. It's a big ask to win from here when Clayton is defending his throw so well. It's taken him less than 18 months to make his first final on the European Tour, whereas Nathan Aspinall a couple of weeks ago, it took him about 6 years.
This would be a timely 11 darter for Jonny Clayton. 12 darts will do nicely, though. Well, Now, let's see if Josh Rock can use that experience that he's just had on the bullseye to good effect here. He might well get the opportunity. Treble 18.
That would have shaken this place had he hit that. Would have shaken Jonny in his boots. This place is silent. It isn't now, because one more leg for Jonny Clayton will give him his second European Tour title. Rock now needs 3 straight, otherwise it will be his first final, but no title.
Josh Rock must have been hoping and praying that that final dart at double 8 was not going to find its way through, but he heard the call from Kurt Bevins and he feared the worst. And well, he's got to win 3 on the spin now, and given the way that Clayton has played on throw especially, it's a tough assignment. First and foremost, hold your own throw here, Josh, and that's the right way to go about that particular task in hand.
140.
You know, Jim Carrey once said, what sounds better than 2-time Golden Globe winner Jim Carrey? Said it would actually be 3-time Golden Globe winner Jim Carrey. What would sound better than 1-time Austrian Darts Open champion? How about 2-time Austrian Darts Open champion? However, Josh Rock wants to be referred to as the same thing as Jonny Clayton.
Treble 18. Well, he stayed there actually with Clayton on 201. I thought he might have fancied his chances with the bullseye again. But yeah, sensible play this time from Josh Rock, the percentage play as you call it, Paul.
439. Josh Rock 43.
Few people might have gone bullseye at 25 with the last dart. Needs to go, Josh. It's awkward. Not awkward enough. Again, Josh pulls within 1 and forces Clayton to serve it out this time. It's crunch time here in Graz.
I've got a feeling, and I'm not just saying this after that 58, but I've got a feeling that we are going to go all the way here. I just fear that well, not fear, but I fear from Jonny Clayton's perspective that
48.
he is going to stumble at the most inopportune moment. 58 to start things off. There's a much-needed treble, and there's another. What a great recovery shot that was from Jonny Clayton. Brilliant stuff.
That might be the best 140 he's hit all weekend.
Both players, again, still flirting with that ton-plus average, but I don't think either will be too concerned.
We've had some great finals over the last 18 months on the Euro Tour. This is right up there. It's close, it's classy,
97.
and it's a little different in identity as well, because we're not looking at something like Price versus Wright. This is not the kind of final that you may have expected at the start of the Austrian Darts Open.
140.
Rock still reliant on Jonny Clayton slipping up, and there is very little sign of that happening right now.
Not many titles are won on double 13, but this one might be.
Jonny 26.
Double 13, unlucky for some, but not unlucky for Jonny Clayton, who for a second time is a winner on the European Tour, and who for a second time is a winner of the Austrian Darts Open 5 years and 1 day after collecting his first green